reading, you will get knowledge. Once you have knowledge, you will have confidence. And once you have confidence, you will be able to speak in front of even 3,000 people. That will not matter to you. And if you're not getting chance to speak, wait for it. And if then also you're not getting chance for it, you can always agree with chess number XYZ and then add your point in between.
Yes, ma'am. Rightly pointed. There is one such question, like how to get Nausena medal in Indian Navy. So, any criteria or because people who feel that it's very difficult first of all because not difficult, I would say it's challenging, and but ma'am would like love to tell how she got this.
So I never thought of getting a Nausena medal when I joined Navy. So it just happened because we did something which Navy asked us to do, and it was like a normal day-to-day job. It was nothing great, but yeah, Navy and people in India appreciated us for that, and we are grateful for it. But yes, being the first 6 women officers to get it, it is very proud thing. But I don't know how to get it. I just did what I was told to do, and I did it with honesty and with my full power and intentions. Maybe you can do the same. You can do your thing with full power and intention, honesty, and give your 100%, and you might get a nose in the middle.
That is how even that is what is even told in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Nishkam Karma, Karam Karo Phal Ki Chinta Mat Karo. And that is how ma'am
Wow.
rightly pointed out that you just need to do your routine thing, and more importantly, routine thing is somehow or the other becomes interesting, and eventually, what is not even imagined comes to your plate. Really great. So, one more question is, what is the toughest thing for her throughout preparation? आपके लिए ऐसा क्या toughest चीज़ लगा पूरे preparation zone में?
So I was always worried about paying back my education loan because when I did my education, I was not very like from a rich family. I'm like middle class people, and like my father took loan to get me into BTech and all. So I was always worried that I have to repay my loan on my own and I'll not ask money from my parents, and I have to do my job also, and I have to prepare for my SSB alongside. So that was the reason I never left my job. And in those time, like it used to be like the salary used to be like very less, but I used to manage somehow, and I used to pay half of my salary to my loan account and half of the salary I used to survive. So I think that was the toughest part. And once I got into academy and I got my first Navy salary, I cleared my loans. Yeah.
Really great, man. And even that also signifies that money should not be the barrier for you to join
No,
anything.
never.
And many
I
times,
think in today's world, getting an education is not a difficult task. Like I see people going on scholarships to UK, to US, and to so many other places. There are so many good scholarships that you can get. You don't need to have money to get an education. Like you can take loans and you can always repay it. Education loan are the easiest thing you can get. So that is like all those who say like we didn't have a good college, we didn't have good schooling, that is like bullshit. Because coming from I have seen officers whom I've served with, they have studied in like Hindi medium schools, and then also they have cleared their SSB. So it is not a hurdle anymore.
yes, ma'am. That gives also that also clears one of the myth that आपको अच्छे स्कूल में पढ़ने की ज़्यादा ज़रूरत भी नहीं है to get recommended. You are in a decent school. What is you in yourself will make you get selected. There is one more question coming up regarding how to perform as perfect like officer in SSB interview.
Okay, perfect like officer. I'm not sure how to become a perfect life officer because at that point of time I was civilian, I was a normal candidate, and The only thing which I was doing it, I was being myself. So be yourself, show your good qualities, and if you have any bad qualities, try to hide them, or try to change yourself in a time when you are practicing for your SSBs and all. And actually, you don't need to change yourself. You just do what you are doing, and you just do good for others. That's it, and you will be yourself.
Yes, ma'am. One question which again pings my mind is there are a few girl candidates who are going for SSC education branch. So what is the role of education branch of Navy, and how was your experience serving for a couple of years in education domain?
Yeah, it was a great experience.
And
Um,
what is the nature of
as an
jobs being
education
performed in particular in education?
as an education officer, you have to do a lot of administrative work. So you have to teach sailors. When I was posted in Chilka, I took their classes for computer science since I was BTech in computer science. So I used to teach them computer science. I used to take their classes for SSB. So to few of my sailors got recommended and they become officers. And then you have to take a lot of examinations for CW entry, for HET, for different exams there are in Navy to upgrade. Like once a sailor is going up the ladder, they have to appear for different examinations. So those examinations are conducted by education branch. Then you have to take care of naval KG schools, NCS, KVs. In different postings, you will have different other duties also, additional duties also. Maybe you will look after the library. So this all you'll manage some event. You will be a host in an event. You will be a like there will be so many things to do that in overall you have like a package of 10-15 portfolios, I would say.
So that is what SSC Naval Education job description states as per.
Along with ocean sailing if you volunteer for it.
Yes, ma'am. That is something which comes under miscellaneous of job description.
Now that is the most important thing actually,
Yes, great, great, ma'am.
not miscellaneous.
Great, great. There is one question which comes up, like since you tried for all the three services, and so again you went for Navy for the first time. So what was your approach for the Army and other SSBs? Even you tried for Coast Guard also. So
Yeah.
that experience.
So the approach was similar for every defense force. I did not differentiate between any forces. I was like, I just need to get into defense force. It could be either of the forces. I like beggars should not be choosers. So I was like that. I will not choose. Let them choose me. So for Coast Guard, it used to be different because I was preparing for all the written exam. I used to clear my CDS every time because I had a strategy which I used to follow, and I knew that okay, with this strategy, I will clear my exam. So Army SSB was okay for me. Like I used to get there, but conference out each time. Then CDS was a bit different because the written examination pattern for CDS was different at that point of time. So it used to be the written exam, and then you have to wait for like few hours. Then the result will be told because the exam used to be online. So then the result were told to us, and then the GD used to happen on the same day. And whosoever gets screened in, and then they have to come for SSB. So it used to be different process, but it used to be almost similar to what happens in SSB, just leaving the first day.
Yes, ma'am. Rightly pointed about this thing. Another question coming up. How did you manage your studies during pre-final year of engineering defense exams like preparation semester exams and other preparations?
So my college used to be very strict with the attendance. So I used to go college for like every day, and in my third year, like it used to be more like focusing more on studies when you are in college, because by the time you come home, it used to be like 6 or 7 o'clock in the night, and then you have your dinner and you have to complete your projects and maybe some work which has been given for your presentation and all. So, normal routine, 9 to 5 college, then coming back, then studying for examinations, and giving 1 hour or 2 hours for SSB preparation every day so that you are in touch. And same thing, reading newspaper. I started that in my fourth year only. So I used to do that every day, and sometimes when I used to miss, it used to be like a thing that okay, next day I have to continue. And in my fourth year, I have to sacrifice my one of the placements because of my first SSB. So sometimes you have to choose. It's not that you will always get what you want. So there was a company which was coming for placement, and I had to go to Allahabad for my SSB. So I choose that uh, instead of going for a company.
Yes. Like you mentioned, you missed a placement, and there are many candidates who miss their exams. Eventually, they go. So, ma'am,
Yeah.
the left one placement thing. And one, there are since there are many candidates also from final year engineering, or they are actually about to complete their graduation. So, what would be your advice? Do they should they take placements, or should they do job or anything like that, or they should also only focus for SSB? What was your approach, and what kind of things you would like to suggest them?
I would suggest that being financially independent and living your own life gives you more confidence. Like once you are doing things on your own, you are living in a city, working for yourself, then managing your whole life, and then preparing for SSB will add so much more knowledge to you that you will be more confident at your interviews. Like imagine you being at home, everything is done by your parents, everything is served to you, and you're just preparing for SSB and you're not gaining any other experience. You are just in your comfort zone. But when you get out of that shell, when you work, when you meet new people, meeting those new people only will tell you so much about yourself. Okay, I met that person, he described me in certain way. Okay, then I can actually work on this and improve this in me. Like there could be anything, like meeting your boss, meeting your colleagues, and learning new things from them. It actually add-ons to your experience, and this will help you in your SSB. And also it is a positive point that you are not sitting idle, you are actually doing something, and you have a plan B. Instead of just focusing on your SSB, you are also doing something else. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Rightly pointed, and you mentioned regarding financial independency that also helps
Yeah,
in interview as well. Saying the
exactly.
candidate being having a good sense of responsibility.
It's a really good point. Like, I am doing my job because I want to be financially independent, and I am also helping my parents. I also send them money. I whatever you like. These are really good points that you can add to your interview.
Yes, ma'am. One question coming up again. What is the thing that keeps you going despite failure, and also what keeps you going in your journey of Tarani after seeing storms and oceans?
So, being on that boat, it was teamwork. So, like seeing failures, if you fail, if you're not able to rectify anything, there was always one officer to help you. So, we six of us used to bond in a really good way, and then we used to help each other to get through that tough situation. And in normal day to day life, if ever you feel low and you feel like sometimes you feel like after leaving service you feel like okay, what's next? So you feel lost sometimes. So the best way is to get up in the morning, go for exercise, and just uh, try new things. Like I'm trying so many new things now. So that's how I am learning and gaining knowledge. Like I've joined one institute and doing some course. So I'm learning new thing, and that's expanding my horizon. Also, I'm meeting new people over there. They are telling me so many things which I didn't knew earlier, and that's how. I might get a new way to get into a new job or maybe start a business or do something great.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's the motivation for every
That
day.
takes me to the other question which was being asked by a candidate. What's the motto of your life, ma'am? How do you tackle challenges?
Motto of my life is to be happy and full of gratitude and help others. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And there is one question being asked by one of the NDA candidates that he recently got conferenced out. What must he do to get recommended as next time I will get a group of repeaters more experienced than me? What should I focus on as it's my last attempt? Being asked by one of the candidates.
Okay, so firstly, you start focusing on yourself because those experienced repeaters will be, I think, thinking same that you are also experienced repeater. So you don't need to worry about them because they are also in same dilemma as you. So you be confident in yourself and don't think about them. And what was the last thing?
Like it is his last attempt, so how he can get recommended this time, since seeing the others pressure also.
So yeah, so last attempt, obviously, he would be in pressure and thinking of as, okay, इसके बाद तो life खत्म है, मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता. But I think in this last attempt, that candidate need to enjoy the SSB, go for go for it as a, I would say, your last, since it's your last SSB, make good friends and give your best in everything. Don't think about the results because you don't have anything to lose. Anyways, you are there to get selected. And since you don't have anything to lose, then why to think of negative results? Think of positive result. Okay, this is my chance to get selected. So take it as a positive chance to get selected, not a negative one.
Yes, ma'am. One question coming up from a candidate regarding written exam. As a moderate level students, when we prepare for exams like CDS, can we tackle other state level exams together with this? And yes, then how? And what was your strategy of clearing exams?
So depends what kind of state level exam you are planning to tackle. And I feel every exam has a strategy. And in today's world, there are so many YouTubers, there are so many people who are helping you out in getting the strategy for each and every exam. So it is very important to find that strategy for yourself because no one has similar mindset and no one has same brain or knowledge. Everyone has their different way to study. So whatever strategy you have, just try to change it for 15 days, try some other strategy and then see what fits for you, because studying for two different exam obviously is difficult. Because when I used to study for CDS and FCAT, I used to feel the differences there in even in those exams. So it is very important to take it one at a time. If you can't take it one at a time, then find a strategy for yourself, because if I tell you anything, it won't fit you. You have to find it, you have to try and find it. Just try it for 10 days, maybe 2 weeks, and then you will get to know if you're liking it or not.
A service entry candidate is asking what kind of questions will I get during my SSB in service regarding services, and predominantly in his SSB of based on his service life.
Okay, that's a tricky question because I have not dealt with that kind of SSB. So obviously, service person has to prepare about his cadre, whatever he is in, and he should know in and out about what he is doing on board, about the seniors, also about Navy, because that person is in Navy. Obviously, they would expect them to know much more about Navy since they are inside. And also, you have nothing to lose. You are already there in Navy and you have to upgrade yourself. So be confident and go for it.
Rightly pointed, ma'am. And being confident is the key success to excel everywhere.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, one question which is like how to handle the anxiety before entering the narration hall.
Okay. Anxiety is, uh, it basically comes when you are not sure about something and you are not sure how it's going to be. So, should I tell you what I do?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Because that is the thing I can relate with.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So for me, it would more be like think of good things and listen to some good music. And if you can't do that, just do some anulom vilom, breathe in, breathe out, and feel that, okay, this is your chance and you will do great. And always, whenever you're talking to yourself, give those positive response to your brain. If you're thinking negative, अरे यार अब तो नहीं होगा ये, मैं मेरे को अभी डर लग रहा है, एंजाइटी हो रही है, आई एम स्वेटिंग, शायद ये अच्छा नहीं होगा अभी, अरे इसका तो इतना अच्छा था, अब मेरा अच्छा नहीं होगा, because you have already seen that someone is doing best, better than you, so you start getting that negative thought. So your brain will act in a way in which you train it. So you have to train your brain in a positive way. No, you're doing good, you're doing good, you're going good, you're going better. Okay, let's do this, this will be best. So just say that to yourself, don't say negative things, and then you can clear everything and anything.
Yes, ma'am. A female candidate is asking, she recently got screened out. So, from girls' perspective, what are the things that the assessor exactly wants and what you worked on your aspects?
I think excessor don't exist on the basis of women or male officers. It for them, a candidate is just a candidate. It doesn't matter if it's a male or a female. That's my answer.
Really great, ma'am, because that is what even we also insist that.
Yeah, an officer is an officer. It's like you can't differentiate between them, like as a male officer and an officer. वो बस
Exactly.
बोलने की बात है. And we do everything is same. Like we do same training, and you just have to be like whatever the SSB process is for male candidate is just for female candidate. So there would be similar kind of I think assessment.
Yes, ma'am. And while even knowing about you in detail, where there was one line being mentioned that there are hardly like बहुत सारे लोगों ने माउंट एवरेस्ट क्लाइम करा है बट हार्डली कुछ लोगों ने सर्कम नेविगेशन करा है. सो मैं वन सच एग्जांपल जिन्होंने वो करा है एंड काफ़ी अभी तक मेल काउंटर पार्ट्स हैव नॉट गेट डन दैट थिंग. सो
You know how many people in Asia, in India and Asia has done it? Only eight. So six of us and two of our mentors.
रियली ग्रेट.
So that is the number.
Yes, ma'am. One last question which was being asked in the thing. Thereafter, we will take live questions from the candidate. Being a fresher, I have my SSB interview in March. Now, what are the major things any candidate should adapt so that to get recommended the very first attempt? Practicing lot of many of questions helps to in vocals, but what are the main things I have to carry on myself from now onwards? And how to become confident in front of everyone to raise your voice confidently.
I think it is a similar question. So, as a fresher, you need to have that confidence. You need to have knowledge. To have that knowledge, you need to read and practice. Practice as and when you can. Practice for your GDs. Practice for your lectures. Practice for psychological test, because these are the things which we have never done in our life, in our schools and colleges, and we do it for the first time. So obviously we need to practice even for your VAT, for SRTs. you don't really do these things, and you don't have a writing habit also. So it is very important to do the writing practice also. And for interviews also, like, you need to know what kind of questions they ask and how you should sit, how you should behave. So everything need to be, as a fresher, you need to go through the process. You can take online guidance, you can take guidance from Pallab Datta and CULTSSB, maybe from your friends who have gone for SSB, maybe take some coaching or just read about that in newspaper or anywhere. There is so much medium today that it is like for freshers, it is like so much information available that they are overloaded with information. So it is very important to have a correct guidance. So when you are reading anything, just
Yes.
be
Yeah, please continue.
sorry. Okay. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So, ma'am, that was really an insightful and great to know about your journey in general and in particular. And I would also recommend all the candidates out here to check out ma'am's story from Nat Geo documentary, as well as there are various other sources. And we can also insist you to focus regarding the journey from Vice Admiral Avdi sir. Basically, he was the one who was the founding, who had this vision. When I was reading his book, I also got to know a lot of things which he visioned, what his vision in a detailed way. Thereafter, ma'am also pointed regarding SSBs in particular and about her journey, about her academy life, also about switching jobs and how exactly it helped her to eventually get recommended. Thereafter, ma'am also described about your service experience, which covered various academies and particularly RIMC's first batch. So we thank ma'am from the bottom of our heart, from the whole SSB's team and community, that she joined us for and gave around so many uh, hours, so many minutes and time, so that many candidates out here got this benefit. So ma'am, I now leave the whole uh, thing to the candidates, that they have got many questions to come up, and I guess you have also pinged the questions in the chat box. So guys, now
Okay.
I request you all to raise their hand if you have got any questions. And over to
So I can see one question: how to get permanent commission after short service? So there is no procedure to get a permanent commission after short service. It's just that you give your willingness or unwillingness in the ninth year of your service, and it all depends on how you have performed in last 9 years. So if you have done good and great, your bosses might have written good ACRs about you, and accessing that, the Navy will give you permanent commission. And if you give unwillingness, then you can leave service at 10 years, and you can take extension for 4 years, like it was in my case. Can a woman get PC? Yes. Is it necessary to study in RMC RMS so that we can perform well in service? See, RMC and RMS are a platform. It's a feeder institute for NDA. It is not necessary to study there. Like anyone, like you don't have all the officers who have studied in RMC and RMS. Like they would be only 1% of those officers, right? So every other person is coming from different schools. So it is not necessary to study there. But yes, if you have studied from that school, it gives you a pathway. It actually molds you in a way that you started following that routine of defense force or forge in your school life also. And you get a lot of insight because a lot of people from forces visit these schools. They give motivational lectures, they come as a speaker, they help you. So it's different in that way.
so ma'am, let's take the live questions. So we have
Okay.
people raising their hands. So let's go one by one.
Okay.
So Vinay, good evening. Please go ahead.
Again, ma'am, can you hear me? Question is that also asked me if that today conference as problem.
Vinay, your
I
voice
was
is
so
not clear.
determined. Why don't clear?
Vinay, what you can do is you can
Sorry.
drop your question in the chat box. I guess there is some network issues from your side.
Yeah, I can't hear him.
Okay,
Okay,
fine.
fine.
Gentlemen.
Okay, so let's go to hi, flying Roger. Is he here?
Hello, good evening, ma'am. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
My name is Tanvi, and my question is that what should be the proper approach to think like an officer? As they say that thinking like an officer to like matlab, crack an SSB is equally important as preparing for it, like for the different stages of SSB. So my question is that ki matlab yahi hai, how to think like an officer with the proper approach.
Uh, I think in today's world, we are so much overloaded with information that we get information of all sort of information from everywhere. Like I never heard of this like think like an officer during my SSB times. So you cannot think like an officer since you are not an officer. You can only think like what you are. So how can you inculcate those qualities in yourself is only by doing things which are required to be done. So I've already given you so many tips of how to become that person who can get selected in the SSB. So you have to follow those tips and tricks, and you have to just keep working on yourself and improve yourself. There is no way, like I don't see like there is some 7 stars on my head which is there as an officer. It is like we are normal human being. It is just that we are being ourselves. We are conducting in a way which is different, which is elite. We are confident. You are like after joining forces, you get that kind of confidence because you are doing so many things in a day and tackling so many situations that the confidence increases as you keep growing in service. So there is a like for your question, there is no specific criteria to think as an officer, but yeah, think as you are and try to be better every day.
Okay. Thank
Let's
you so
take
much,
a
ma'am.
question
It's a
from.
privilege to talk to you.
Same here. Thank you.
Let's take a question from chat box, man. Which books you prefer for a defense aspirant? As a defense
For a
aspirant.
defense aspirant, okay. I usually started reading Robin Sharma a lot, and for a defense aspirant, you can read more books about forces, about world wars, about history, and more about they say if you have interest in defense forces and if you are looking forward to join it, so at least you should know something about what all dates were there when the wars were done, when the World War I happened, two happened, and what is the history, what is going on between the neighboring countries and India. So these are very common things. So something related to this. I would not name the specific books.
Another question from chat, Zahin ma'am. For recommendation, we improve, get recommend, but getting PR, which takes lot of time to recover, and as well make certain option for backup. It is one of big issues. So what are your suggestion for it? Because lot of time candidate gives SSB for SSB, then lastly no option. Basically, is asking a candidate after getting medical issues how he can come up.
Permanent rejection, how you can come up and try for another SSB.
Yes, try for another SSB or something in life options.
Okay, so whenever you are preparing for these competitive exams like SSB, like IAS, and any government jobs. So these, like India has so much population that you cannot be sure that you will get through and you will really make it, because there can be any kind of situation. There's like so much uncertainty in life. So always, whatever you are doing, you're studying, you're working, always keep on improving in that. And best way is to always keep an option along with it, so that you don't get disheartened when you are not selected in SSB, because you know that you have something to look forward to. If you don't have anything to look forward to, obviously you will be disheartened and you will think of wrong things. So that is more important. Like, and nowadays, like when I was feeling okay, my service is done, what should I do next? So there are so many other options which I am trying out now. So keep on trying. You might not like it, and you can always give it another go to something else.
Rightly pointed out regarding never giving up attitude and fighting back spirit. There is another question which was being asked by Vinay, but due to network issue couldn't speak. Yesterday I was conferenced out from Jalandhar. IO asked me if you are determined to NDA, why you are not able to clear in first attempt. Second question was that what was mistake in last four SSB. So according to you, ma'am, could you please tell what the positive response I may give?
Okay. So when I asked you that why you have not cleared it in your first attempt is, for that, give a real reason. Like you don't need to lie to him or whatever. Like it could be a reason. Like I need to speak to you personally to find what was the actually real reason. But in my case, when I did not clear my first attempt, and in my second attempt, if my IO would ask me why you did not cleared it, I would tell him that okay, I was not prepared for it, because when I came to the screening, everyone was so loud and they were on top of their voices and they were overpowering me, and I actually was scared to speak anything, and also I was underconfident. And this time I am confident that I have cleared my screening and I have come to this stage and I am performing better, so I will get recommended this time. So this is how you show your confidence. You also show that you have improved from your last attempt and you are doing better because you have worked on yourself. And your second question was that, but one thing I tell you, whatever I am answering, you don't need to answer that. Your answer should be your answer. It's not what I am telling you. It should be something which you have experienced. That's why we say that show what you are in SSB and you will get selected. Because if you copy what I said, you will get to know. Second question was that what was mistaken last for SSB. So whatever you did wrong in your last SSB, it could not be, I would not say wrong, but I would say whatever you think was not according to the SSB pattern that they did not select you, you have to analyze it yourself. Once you analyze it, if you can't analyze it, you have to talk to your friends, to your peers who will be preparing with you. I have already discussed it in detail that how you can make a group of friends who are preparing. There are so many people. I can see 30 people who are there in this group who are listening to me right now. You can always get in contact with each other or with Pallab and speak to each other, and then they can help you to find out how and when, why did you did what all wrong you did in your SSB.
Yes, ma'am. Very rightly pointed out that peer friend circle is important, and taking the things which is as per your convenience and your knowledge, because copying other answers will not fetch you anything, because कल को आपको ही decision लेना है. And there is one such officer who I also insist that and as an officer you actually take decision, eventually you prove it to be right. ऐसा नहीं होता कि आप स्टार्टिंग में राइट डिसीजन लेते हो और राइट ही होना है. यू टेक डिसीजन एंड इवेंचुअली प्रूव इट टू बी राइट. Thereafter, since for the candidate's benefit, I would like to tell something before ma'am continues. So, as you all know that ma'am has come to CULTSSB, and we have got many candidates out here who have got recommended throughout our programs and various guidance things. So, since in the chat box also you can see up that you can check out our Insta, WhatsApp, Telegram, and even YouTube links. You can just check it out. If at all you need any kind of things, even ma'am will also be there directly guiding, and even we will also share the ma'am's Instagram ID, so that if at all you feel directly आप मैम को अप्रोच कर सकते हो as per मैम्स कन्वीनियंस. Because the thing is, आप किसी से भी guidance लो, the only thing will be consistent is your efforts, and more importantly, not only your efforts but the guidance which you will actually get. So yes sir, let's move on to the next question now.
I don't have good marks in my academics, especially my marks were decreased. So how can I positively answer that? Okay, so if you're not good in your academics, you might be good in sports, you might be good in some other thing. You can always showcase that thing. Like, okay, I take example of my husband. He was not good in academics, but he was a great football player. He was national level football player. So always he is in army right now. So you need to show your positive points. You don't need to, and even if you're not academically good, but you're sitting for an interview, you might have cleared your written exam for that interview. Obviously, you have to clear your written exam, then only you'll sit for an interview. You can always say, but I work hard now and I have improved myself and I'm sitting for this interview because I have cleared my written exam, and that shows that you are academically good. That's why you are sitting there. So that's how you can tackle.
So the next question is being skipped on. What you suggest to defense aspirants for from your journey to defense?
What do you suggest to defense aspirant from your journey to defensive? Like, I did not get the question. What you really want to ask? Sumit, can you rewrite or reframe your question?
Or else, if any candidates have live question, please come up. Okay. So if no such question is there, oh,
Ma'am, how can one get screen in? I am screen out 2 times. I think this question we have already answered, Nishant, but the most important thing about screening in is when you are going in for a screening, you see so many people that you get underconfident because they have batch of like 20, 25 people sitting with you and 3 assessors sitting in front of you. So at that point of time, you have to tell yourself that, okay, I have prepared really well and I will do my best here. Also, start reading newspapers, start reading books, get into a habit of reading because that will give you a knowledge. And when you have knowledge about that topic, then only you will be able to speak. If you don't have knowledge about the topic of GD, you will not be able to speak and you will not have confidence. So, the most important thing is the same, which I have already repeated thrice in this lecture. So, to get screen in, you need to have confidence, knowledge, and outspoken mindset. What's the next question? Ma'am, I just want that something which I can learn from your defense, your journey to defense. Okay. Sumit, I think my journey to defense has been really intriguing and exciting because I have always like I come from a civilian background where my parents are not really educated, they had just done their schoolings, and I literally had no support when I was preparing for my SSB, or I would say I literally had no support when I was in my school time, or in my college time. Like no one would like push me to do anything. It was on my own initiative that I would push myself. From being an introvert person who would not talk to anyone in school, like I had just one friend in school, and then coming to college and then changing myself. How did I change myself? I realized that I am really different from others, and to gel up and to become more friendly person, I need to be an extrovert. I started participating in all the events in college. I used to go for the annual functions. I used to go for the presentation competition. Although I used to be most terrified person when I'm standing on stage and giving presentation with the topper of my class, but I used to go for it because that thing gave me confidence that I can do it. And then I started when I started participating in all the events in college, and then I did NCC. In NCC also we used to participate in every event. So that's how I become outspoken and extrovert person. And when I improve, like this is how I see that I myself has improved me. Like no one in the world will help you to improve. It is you who has to work on yourself. Otherwise no one is coming to save you. So you have to work on yourself for your betterment, to live a better life. If you think of yourself after 10 years, where you want to see yourself, so in that way start working today. What's the next question?
Is it good to be studying in public school rather than studying RMS? Can this make a huge difference these two situations as civilians versus military environment?
uh, it would it would make a huge difference, because I think it makes a huge difference because if you have an option to study in RMC or RMS or Scenic school, then why not? Because clearing the exam, the written exam of those schools is the biggest hurdle, and clearing that written, then interview and medical is one of the most toughest thing, which is almost equivalent to SSB. So if you are clearing that and coming to a military school, obviously it will make a difference. But it is not as big as I would say, like reaching to moon. So you can always be in public school, and then once you clear your schooling and then you go for NDA. But if you have option, then go for at least you can try giving the written exam and try getting into these schools. And now you have like so many scenic schools coming up, so you have more like people who can, like students who can study there.
So next question is, what are the questions that we face if we don't get any placements, and how to face, what are the questions we faced if we were in NCC?
So, if you are in NCC, you usually get to ask about your camps, about what kind of training you did, what military drills you are doing, and about like what all campings you have done, national, international. Have you taken part in RD parade? Not much. One or two questions for NCC will be asked if you are going for NCC SSB. Otherwise, if you don't get placement, how to face this question? So if you are not getting placed, you can always tell that you did not get the opportunity, or the company came but you were not there because you were preparing for SSB, or you are still trying and you have applied from LinkedIn to many of the companies, you're getting calls, you are in process of the interview, you are still waiting for the call. There are so many things. Like, it depends on your situation, what you are going through. And if you are drop out and you are preparing for something else, you can tell that, like, I have dropped and I am preparing for IAS or SSB or something like that. So these are the normal simple questions which you can relate in your life.
Yes, ma'am.
Taking a drop year in your life will not impact SSB at all. That's what I think. Uh, it's how you project it. You have to think of a way, like if you're taking a drop year, why you are taking it for. You need to tell the reason. Thank you,
Yes.
Tarun.
So let's take one last question. There is one question being left, I guess.
Can I answer, Umesh?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
failed an RMS examination and clear my studies as public English medium school. Is it good to mention during SSB? Yes, why not? This shows that you are, if you go for NDA and you are telling them, like, I tried for RMS examination but I failed, but now I'm here to give SSB again and I'm trying for defense forces. So this shows that since childhood you wanted to go into defense forces and it is your consistent endeavor and sake you want to do it. So that is a good thing. Just project it in a positive way. Failure is not a bad thing. It is a key to learning. So always remember that. Okay.
There
I
is
think that
yes, ma'am. There is one question being left by Vinay. When conference goes long, I feel nervous. How to overcome it? Is everyone feels the same? Please.
yeah, I think everyone feels nervous because if conference is going on for long, then obviously something good or bad is happening inside. So it is very normal, and it's just that have uh, have faith in yourself and just be okay with whatever the result is, and try doing meditation. I would say at that point of time.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely, meditation is the key for everything. Even it includes not only for SSB but also, I guess, you mentioned about it in your INSV Tarini journey.
Yeah.
So, guys, if all the questions are done, let's call it off
Awesome.
the session. Anybody have any question before we wrap this session up? And because ma'am has given her valuable time sharing a lot of insights not only from service life but from her SSB experience, which she have given long back 10 years before, 10, 11 years before. So, yes. Any questions? Last but not the least.
Ma'am, how did you push yourself after many SSP and exams? Mm, I because I wanted to see myself in that uniform, and I imagined myself having a good life after 10 years, which I'm living now. So that's how I pushed myself, because if you imagine yourself doing something great, you have to sacrifice and do little hard work.
Ma'am, I guess all the questions are
Yes,
done.
we can wrap up.
Yes, ma'am, we can wrap up. Thank you so much, ma'am, again from the whole CULTSSB team and the candidates out here. And we wish you all the very best for all the future endeavors. And we also would love to see you touching more bigger heights and soon to see you again touching poles and again crossing equators. Thank you
Sure.
so much, ma'am, for guiding all the candidates out here and making this session very insightful, as we can see from the screen as well. And more importantly, all the candidates out here, you all can check ma'am on Instagram. She's very active on Insta, and you can also follow her. And definitely, you can also do lot of studies post session. And do revert back to ma'am if at all you have got any queries, or else to the whole cult SSB team, we will forward the request to ma'am. so much, ma'am, for
Thank you, Pallav, and thank you everyone for listening out. And have a great night. And all the best for your SPs for examinations. And don't feel disheartened if you don't get through in first attempt, second attempt, third attempt. Keep trying, and you will succeed. Thank you.
thank you so much,
Jai
ma'am.
Hind.
Good night and Jai Hind.
Good night.